Hot Mic is brought to you by Red Wing Shoes of Fargo. Built to last. 3003 Main Avenue, Fargo.
Hot Mic with Dom Izzo.
Really? Really, Dom?
No. I like what Dom's doing.
Okay.
Dom Izzo.
Jeez, come on, Dom. What do you think I am, a magician?
Yeah, I'm fired up, Dom. What else could I say?
Absolutely. It was great to get on the field, and then Dom came up to me, and I'm trying to walk away from me. I just wanted to enjoy myself out there.
Hot Mic.
Great job.
There's got to be some kind of intelligent question about something.
Coach Dom Izzo, WDAY in Fargo, North Dakota.
Can you give me a layup or something?
Hot Mic. Hot Mic. Presented by Northwestern Mutual.
That program is second to none.
On the networks of WDAY.
You know, if it's not about sports, I find it very hard to concentrate.
Here's Dom Izzo. Dom Izzo.
Good Friday morning. Welcome, everybody, to Hot Mic on WDAY Extra. KSFL, to our friends in Sioux Falls, we say good morning, and KNBN in western South Dakota. We flew over you guys in Rapid City, Cheyenne area last night at Inforum.com. I am Dom Izzo, blurry-eyed, but here and ready to go here on a Friday. I'm warning already for all of our viewers and listeners out there. Energy level is low. I'm not gonna lie to you. We got back fairly late last night, or early this morning, however you want to describe it. Not necessarily a red eye, but pretty darn close. But we are here, and we're going to deliver the best show we can today. So ready to rock and roll here into the weekend. Plus, I haven't worked a Friday in a bit, so it's been, I did golf. Gosh, that seems like it was 2 months ago. It was about 3 weeks ago. We had the golf tournament that we did over at Moray Country Club. But it's been a little bit since we've been in studio here on a Friday. And excited to have Cory Provus join us today to get our energy level up for the second half of the Twins season. But it's great to be back. And thanks to everybody that made it happen, whether it's everyone here in studio that got us on the air, to our tremendous crew that was out with us in Las Vegas, to the entire Mountain West communications staff. They were tremendous to work with. That was our first real experience with them. I've dabbled with them since February, and they have been dynamite. Anytime we've had a request to have somebody on the show, whether it been the commissioner, to the associate commissioner, to obviously any of the coaches, and we got all of them yesterday. You saw 3 of them on our show yesterday. We had Tim Polisic on, Dan Mullen, which was great, and Scotty Walden from UTEP, who was also fantastic. We had them on yesterday. And then afterwards, after we signed off at 11 a.m. Central, we got the other 7. So we got Jason Eck. We got Jay Salvell from Wyoming, Ken Niamatololo from San Jose State, Jeff Choate from Nevada, so on and so forth. We got all of them. Rob Harley from Northern Illinois. Timmy Chang is awesome. I can't wait for you guys to hear our conversation that we had with the Hawaii head coach. And he had a great moment yesterday as we are in the foyer area. If you saw where we were doing the show yesterday, that area right behind where we were located, myself, Sam Niederman, Kolpak, McFeely, we're just commiserating about whatever. And we're getting ready to, break apart to get our stuff done. And Chang was going from, station to station. He was doing the car wash, they call it. And he was about to go to I believe, Las Vegas radio before he's going to come do TV with me. And he introduced himself, shook everybody's hands, and asked where we're from. We said Fargo, and his eyes lit up and said, "Hey, are you guys coming to Honolulu for the game?" And immediately I pivoted and pointed at our operations manager was there, Stacy Anderson. Everyone knows Stace. Stace is on our show. And I said, "That's the guy to ask. That's the guy to talk to." And Stace, I believe, was on the phone, got off the phone quickly because the head coach of Hawaii said, "Hey, we got to send these guys." So it was a great moment yesterday, and the league was more than welcoming. I can tell you this, folks, and this is no it's going to sound like a shot or a slight of the Missouri Valley Football Conference. It wasn't, and it's not, but this was such a big-time operation. It was such had a major feel to it. This is some of the video we got. That was the crowd of media that were around. UNLV certainly was the big dog. I know Kolpak wrote about it either yesterday or this morning at Inforum, and he's dead on about that. They were the leaders of the pack, so to speak, in terms of attention, in terms of expectations. But to just put a bow on things of what we saw over the last couple days, I mean, it had major league feel to it, totally. Whether it was the player access, whether it was the coaches we got to speak to, whether if you saw the streaming show that was on the Mountain West app, that each team and players went there. It had a major league background behind them in terms of just seeing the strip of Las Vegas behind them. It was a big deal. They pulled out all the stops. They were ready to introduce the new look league, and they did it in a big-time way. So it was a pleasure to be there. And if you aren't ready to roll for college football in 2026, then I don't know what to do for you. We tried to give it to you as best we can, and we'll have more of our interviews coming up. We're gonna have another one today, and we'll sprinkle these in, I'd say, over the next week and a half. After that, we are into the start of the season. I don't want to get too stale with our stuff, but Sam and Kyle Strecker are out there as well. They got some great content from all the players that were there. And we're going to use that for our variety of our pregame shows, obviously, we're going to have, or our preview shows that will come in late August on the 2 Sundays prior on WDAY to the Jacksonville State game coming up on August the 29th. So it was a lot. I will say this. I have been now to Las Vegas twice. I have gone both times in the month of July. Not great, because it was bleeping hot again. Not as hot as it was 2 years ago when we set the record for the hottest day in the history of the city. But I'd like to go when it's not my face melting off, which maybe in October when the Bison play UNLV, that it will feel a bit more respectable. All I'll say, though, because we were gone and I'm following the news of what's happening back here in the upper Midwest, is we didn't have the smoke and haze to deal with that everybody had here yesterday. Thankfully, it's out at least for a bit today, but obviously it's now filtering to eastern Minnesota. So everybody be careful out there, and obviously it's still gross, muggy, and hot, and it's going to be for the next few days, and then hopefully we'll blow out of here. Now, before we get going with some actual sports chatter today, because we got a lot to unpack, as we were flying yesterday, we traveled and traversed 3 time zones, right? Apparently, this is breaking news to some in our traveling party, and you don't need me to name names because I think you might know who I'm talking about, that we're unaware that Las Vegas sits in the Pacific time zone. And again, for those that haven't gone, I mean, you're not far from Los Angeles. I believe you're 4 hours from L.A., from where we are, because Vegas is in the southern tip of Nevada. And I will full out say it, Pacific time freaks me out, especially when we're working. I've never gone other cases when haven't been working. So you are backtracking everything. We started our show at 7 a.m. local time. I mean, there were people looking around at me like I'm a crazy person, which is not unusual, but when we're in the foyer of the ballroom there, that the Hawaii guys were next to us, and we did our first segment yesterday, and they said, "Boy, you're going already, huh?" I was like, "Well, it's 9 a.m. Central Fargo time. We're going," but it was a constant math equation in my head throughout the entire 2+ days we were there. Of okay, what time is it in Fargo? And my watch is always on Fargo time. That because I just train that way, that I know many people don't even wear watches anymore because you've got a clock on your phone. And I get that. I'm, I guess, old that way, which is fine. That I set my brain to it because that always tells me, okay, this is WDAY time. This is when I need to know when stuff has to get back. It's work for me there. Going east has never been an issue because I always feel like I've got an hour to play with. Where here you always feel like you're behind. And that led to thought today as I was driving to work, because I'm on low sleep and low power. But the question is, and I've lived in 2 different time zones. I've traveled to 4 of them now. I haven't been to Hawaii, nor Alaska, nor to the Atlantic time zone. For those that don't know, Newfoundland, on the very edge of the United States, on the eastern part of the United States, I believe is a half hour ahead of Eastern time zone. So our poll question today, and you can go vote right now at Hot Mike WDAY, is what is your favorite time zone? What is the best time zone? And here are the options here. You've got, obviously, Eastern time, where I grew up. You've got Central time, and I will say this. As a sports fan, Central time is by far the best. When you have NFL football starting at noon on Sundays and the second game's at 3 or 3:30 and Sunday Night Football's at 7:15, that's pretty darn cool. Mountain time zone gets completely overlooked. Mountain just is out there floating in the ether. Nobody recognizes it or acknowledges it. Like when you hear television commercials, they're going to say, at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, or they'll go 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 4 Pacific. Mountain is just leaped over. And then there's Pacific time. And now, I will say this. I was out on the West Coast when, speaking of the NFL, where the games out west start at 10 a.m. The early kickoff window is a 10 a.m. start. Right? I mean, that just sounds weird. With the late games at 1, and then Sunday Night Football is a 5 o'clock kick. So, vote away. We've already got plenty of votes coming in, and we'll have our results on that before we say goodbye. I would have told you 20 years ago, I only knew it was Eastern time, and now I've lived here in this time zone for almost 2 decades now. Central time zone is my vote. There's not a doubt in my mind. When I go back home, I always feel things are late. Like the news is on at 11 o'clock. Which I used to work in news, which sounds crazy that it seems late, but it does. And now after going west for the last couple days, it just is it's a different feel. But I'm interested to see what our results will. Knowing full well where we live, I think I know what's going to win, but we'll put it out there and we'll see what everybody says before we're said and done here today. One other quick thing before we get rolling here today. And this is a big-time news event that went down yesterday. And I got wind of this early in the week before we had left for Las Vegas, but it had not been confirmed or announced yet. And these are the kind of stories you don't want to deprive the person or family of announcing. Last night, Brinley Richmond announced that she is going to play volleyball at Wichita State. The Cheyenne junior, of course, who helped the Mustangs to the 2025 state championship. One of the dynamite players there for that West Fargo Cheyenne team that has Baylor Dinger on it, who's widely considered the top prospect in the state. Cora Metcalf played on that team. Cora's now going to be an incoming freshman at Omaha this year in the Summit League. They were really bleeping good a season ago. And Richmond's going to play at Wichita State. Now, if that name is familiar to you and you're wondering, is there a relation, you are accurate. That is Dave Richmond's oldest daughter. So congratulations to the Richmond family. I have yet to text David. I will do that during our show today because that's big-time news for their family that they've got. I don't know where she got her athletic genes. It's certainly not from the old man. Have to be from Mom, but congratulations to Brinley. That's awesome news, and looking forward to watching Cheyenne go back out there. They are the odds-on favorites again in 2026 to be awfully good in volleyball, and congratulations to Brinley on that. We will hopefully get her on next week. We haven't had Dad on in a bit either, but we got nothing to talk to him about. Not until he has a schedule done. I don't want to hear from him. But we can talk to Brinley about her commitment to Wichita State. Again, this is the continued proliferation of Division I volleyball players in the area. It's been, I would say, sporadic. We've had a handful and then a drop-off, and now we are in the midst of having some really, really impressive talent in the area. So congratulations to the Richmond family on that commitment that went down late last night. I know we had a bit of it on our news real quick last night. Also, we are finally at the end of the journey, which started 6 weeks ago. The World Cup will end this weekend. We didn't cover it on our programs over the last couple days. We were football, the other kind, wall to wall. The two semifinals were played Tuesday and Wednesday. Spain eliminated France, and then Argentina did it again with a most ridiculous comeback to beat the English, which broke the hearts of the three Lions fans who were hoping finally they would get a chance to win this thing because they haven't won it since the 60s. As it is, it'll be Spain and Argentina for the final on Sunday afternoon at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, the home of the New York Football Jets. The Giants play there as well. But that'll be it, and it should be a fabulous game. I think Spain has flown under the radar through this entire tournament because they haven't had the star turns like Norway did with Holland, and obviously France had with Mbappe. Instead, Spain didn't allow a goal until the game with Belgium. They allowed one to Belgium, and then they shut out France. So I believe, and I have to double-check this, they've allowed one goal the entire tournament and now face Messi and Argentina trying to go back-to-back. They won it in 2022, and if this is it for Messi in terms of playing at the World Cup, boy, that will be a scene on Sunday, and it's going to be muggy and warm at East Rutherford. I don't know why this won out. I'm sure some sort of corruption happened here to get the game and not in Dallas or Atlanta, like inside a climate-controlled stadium, because it seems like the teams that have played the most games indoors have had the most success in this tournament. What I am intrigued now beyond Sunday for the non-soccer rubes out there, will they become fans of international soccer in terms of not MLS, because MLS is invisible. MLS is on Apple TV and nobody can see it. But in terms of the Premier League, which starts in a couple weeks, and that's on every week on NBC and USA. The Bundesliga, who just got, I believe, a deal with USA. They're leaving ESPN, which is the German league. Serie A, which is the Italian top league. Those leagues. The Champions League, which is all of them, the top of all of those leagues that play each other. Because I've tried. I really did. I tried on the Premier League a few years ago. I think I got it. I'm going to invest some time in it, and it just fizzled. And I may do that again, but I'm interested if this is the real boom for other legions of fans to start paying attention. We will find out. We got a lot to get to here. Pack Friday show to wrap up our week here. Our guest lineup is brought to us by Northwestern Mutual. Coming up in just a few minutes, my conversation with Bison offensive lineman Griffin Empey that we had out in Vegas. A lot of expectations on the North Dakota State offensive line, despite the fact that two starters went in the transfer portal after last year's team with Bo Johnson and Trent Fraley having departed. Empey is now the leader of that O-line, and he very well may be the center of that offensive line. We'll talk with Griff about that coming up in just a few minutes. At 9:35, we'll welcome Cory Provus back on. The Twins begin the unofficial second half of the season tonight at Wrigley Field, a rare Friday night game at Wrigley. This is a homecoming for Cory. I know he always is excited to get back and call games at Wrigley, which he once worked. We'll preview that with the Twins and Cubs coming up at 9:35. In our second hour, Kindred's Myles Thielges will join us. Big night for Myles. He announced his commitment to play football at Minnesota State University more, part of that dynamite powerhouse Vikings football team that is set for big things in 2026. We'll talk with Myles about that. And at 10:35, off a trip to Vegas myself, the real captain of Las Vegas, my dad, will join us. We haven't had Pops on in over a month to get an update how summer is going. I'm sure he's got a World Cup hot take to give us a prediction for Sunday and a couple other things we want to visit with my dad. So that's coming up at 10:35. That and a heck of a lot more here on a busy Friday morning. We're glad you're joining us. We are off and rolling. We'll take our first break. We come back. Griffin Empey will join us on taking over as the leader of the Bison offensive line. That's coming up when Hot Mike returns right after this. Back, everybody. Hot Mike off and rolling here on this Friday morning. Cory Provus will join us here in about 10 minutes' time. Mentioned from our coverage out in Las Vegas, we have a plethora of interviews we're going to get to. I wanted to wrap our week to hear from one of the most experienced players on the Bison football roster for this upcoming year, and that is junior offensive lineman Griffin Empey, who is set to play a major part up front for North Dakota State, whether that's at guard, where he's played the last 2 years, or potentially at center. NDSU center for the last 2 years, Trent Fraley, went to the transfer portal at the end of last season. He's likely going to start at Michigan State this year. For Empey, a former walk-on, his brother Gatlin is now an incoming freshman on the team. There are plenty of expectations for him to potentially not only be a leader of this team, maybe a captain, as he was named to the preseason All-Mountain West team. Here's our conversation with Griff that we had out in Las Vegas earlier this week.
We talked a long, long time ago, walking out of this and now All-American honors. Just let me reflect on that for a minute, just how this journey has gone over the last 3 years. Has it even exceeded your own timeline?
Yeah, a little bit. I think my freshman year I came in and I said I knew I could do it. I just didn't know how fast it would happen. But, yeah, I would say it definitely exceeded the timeline maybe I had in my head. But it didn't catch me that much by surprise, and I'm just excited to keep the journey going.
Seeing your name on this, I know it's not about individual accolades, certainly preseason accolades, but that says a lot about reputation of you. What's that mean to you to be put on this list?
No, yeah, it's a great honor. There's a lot of really, really good players on that list, and to be a newcomer into the league and instantly get that recognition from the coaches and the media and all that stuff. It's really, really, really cool. But you got to go out and prove it, and you got to go get it. So preseason is preseason, and postseason is postseason. So
we talked the day of the announcement. So now here's 5 months later. Does it feel really real now that with fall camp right around the corner?
Yeah, it's definitely real now. So that's what I kind of had the realization on Monday, when I was packing up a little bit. I'm like, oh, this is real now. We're getting ready to go now. So yeah, no, it's real, and we're, like I said though, we're ready. We've been working our butts off. So yeah, we're
what
ready to go.
stands out when you've watched on tape, Griff, of the other Mountain West teams? Is there anything that is a similarity, or what stands out when you watch?
It depends on who you're watching, really. I watch a good amount of tape of all the teams. I'd say the overall biggest, difference is probably just, what's the word, gelness of a lot of defenses. Continuity of the defenses. Yeah, they all play together really, really well. There's definitely a step up of some guys on the field being a little bit better athletes, but I think in similarities to the Missouri Valley, the top end teams are all really good. So it's not anything that we haven't seen before, and it's not anything that we can't get prepared for.
There's some defensive tackles you're already looking at, all right, that's a little different than what I saw for the last couple of years.
Yeah, so there's some more size and some more strength, I'd say, in the interior. There's a couple of guys that I've been watching, just to keep my heads on and keep my eyes on during the summer. I watched their film from last year, and now throughout the season we'll keep an eye on them. But ain't nobody that's too big to handle.
Or sneaking up on you, I imagine.
Yeah, nobody's sneaking up on me.
So obviously there's two spots to fill with Bo Johnson moving on and Trent Fraley moving on. We talked to you during spring ball that Ryan Babbitts is going to be the guy at left tackle. Center seems to be maybe still up in the air there. I know Gage Schmidt was getting reps. You've got reps there. If it comes to it that you're the starting center, how do you feel about making that move?
Good to go. No problems with me. I've always been, like I said, I think I've said this with you. When I came here, I was taught that you got to play all 5 positions.
Yeah.
So, that's been my mentality since I've gotten here, and I've been taking center reps since I've been a freshman here. So I've been snapping the ball since I've.
It's funny you say that. I found video at Colorado warming up, and there you were. I'm like, wow, that happened that long ago. So this was as soon as you were on the field, you were doing that.
I've been taking reps at all 3 interior positions since I've been here for sure. And then even when I first got here, I was taking a little bit of tackle reps. So when that happened, that was a little bit more of an adjustment. But
wide eye there.
Yeah, I was like, all right, cool. But yeah, no, it's all part of it. So
tell me about this offensive line. Nate getting another year. Obviously, Babbitt's playing after playing as a true freshman last year. How much, relating to your own experience of playing as a redshirt freshman, that helps the next year around?
Oh, it helps so much. We always talk about it. Game experience is better than anything. Just being out there and being able to be comfortable, because the hardest part when you're a redshirt freshman or a true freshman, especially like Babbitt's, was truly getting out there and the game's really, really fast. Like, you're out there, a million things are happening at once. It's hard to get in on your keys, hard to get, this, that, the third. And when you get all those game reps like those guys did last year, the game starts to slow down for you because it's like, oh, I've seen this before. I got beat on this before.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get beat on it again, So that's the biggest difference between your first year playing and your second year playing. And then, when you keep stacking all those years together, then it's truly like, okay, you'll be out there like Gray was his senior year, like literally calling out the blitz before it happens. It's like, he's like, hey, they're going to run this stunt, and then you're going to pick up the blitz. It's like, all right, cool.
The strength, is that a big part of it as well? From your redshirt freshman year, how much stronger you were last season?
Yep. Sorry. 100%. You get a lot stronger, a lot bigger, a lot faster in a year, especially with our strength program, with how hard we work, all that stuff. You definitely feel the difference. Like, and honestly, like, if you go from my first year playing to last year, like the difference in like just how I look on the field, like I look bigger, I look more filled out. I look like I'm not like just sneaking into the uniform. So, but yeah, so like I think there's a big difference. Like just like I said, from a mental standpoint, developing and maturing, and then physically you are more ready to dominate.
Bear with me this question. Don't roll your eyes too much, but you play offensive line at North Dakota State. There is a certain reputation now that comes with being a Bison offensive lineman. Have you noticed that? If people that don't know who you are, like, I play O-line, like, whoa, well, I know that school produces a pretty good offensive lineman.
No, like I was telling Keenan earlier, we went into one of the like video shoots or something with CW talent. And these guys loved us. They're like, I told him I played O-line. He just started like nodding his head. He's like, yeah, we know about you. We know about you. So yeah, there's definitely a reputation, but that's due to the guys that played before us and have really set that standard. And if that standard's set, then we can't fall short of it.
So I asked Keenan this at the stop. Stop area. I'll have you at the end. Have you played the video game yet?
I haven't. No.
Are you gonna?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Have you heard are you any good at your likeness? Is it accurate to how good you are?
I'm not sure. I know I'm like.
You're highly rated. I think you're the highest rated guy in the game.
Highest rated guy on the team. I think I'm like second highest.
You better brag about that till the cows come home, man.
Yeah. So I mean, it's pretty cool for sure, but it's also one of those things where it's like, it's a game, So I'll probably play it. I know they got it up over there, so I might go play it. But now, it's pretty cool. It's definitely bringing more buzz around. Too, for sure.
I have to ask as well. Your younger brother is now is a true freshman on the Bison football roster this upcoming fall. What has that been like of him being up in Fargo?
I keep telling everybody the biggest difference is like our relationship doesn't have to like exist over the phone.
Yeah.
For like 95% of the year. So like there was one night I was texting him, we were texting about the UFC fights.
Yep.
And we're like, oh my God, who do you think's gonna win? He's like, blah blah blah, probably by knockout, da 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 da. I'm like, oh man, I was like about to text him. I was like halfway texting him. I'm like, oh man, like enjoy the fights. I'm like, what am I doing? Just come over and watch them with us. Like you're literally like 5 minutes away. Like why? Well, I'm telling you, like enjoy your night. It's like no, like come over and watch the fights with us. So then he did. And he comes over to the house, he hangs out, but he's also his own guy. He's got his friends and stuff, so he's doing his thing.
How is he acclimating to the freshman year of workouts and summer workouts at NDSU?
Good. I think I was telling you before we started recording, he was kind of telling me like I'm kind of tired like all the time. I'm like, that's kind of the part of it, dude.
Yeah, right.
That's welcome to D1 football. Welcome to being an adult. He's like, I know. I just can't just like. Chill out for half the day. I got to do my laundry and stuff now. I'm like, yeah, like that's part of it.
Welcome to be an adult, right?
Yeah, exactly. But he's adjusting.
Are they looking fullback, running back? What position?
Fullback,
are they looking?
Fullback mainly, yeah. Fullback, tight end. So he's under Coach Lars's wing. So I'm excited for him for that. Because we all know how good of a coach Coach Larson is.
Now, for your guys' relationship, do you talk everything but football?
No, it mixes. It depends on the day. Some days it's like I told him I don't want to talk any football. Let's just come hang out.
Yep.
And then there's other days where it's like, dude, I got to talk to you about some football stuff.
Yeah.
It's like I got to wrap my head around this. What does this mean? What does it mean when this happens? Because when I was a freshman, I was telling I called my parents and text them about something that happened, and they'd be like, okay. Like they can help. My dad's a coach, but he's like,
yes.
it's like it's obviously my mom's been with me like my whole athletic journey, so she can help me with that. But it's like the deciphering of like, okay, well, what does this mean? What does it mean when we're talking about this in run game, or when they say keep the route skinny? I've been around it enough so I can be like, I know what keeping the route skinny means, and like this. So yeah, like we talk ball, but we also get off it every once in a while.
Last thing for you, you've played a lot of games in the Fargo Dome. What do you expect August 29th against Jacksonville State to be like inside the Dome? I expect it to be jumping, to be honest. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think Jacksonville State is a good opponent to bring their first game. They got good athletes. They move around well, and they got hit like by the portal, kind of just like we did, just like a lot of our teams do now. But they find more guys, and they obviously want to compete and win their conference as much as we want to do ours, and then we got to start their year off right with a win. So they're going to be ready to go. We're going to be ready to go, and I expect the fans to be ready to go. It's great to see you, bud. Thanks so much for stopping by. Stay healthy, and we'll see you at fall camp, all right? Thank you. Griffin Empey joining us, Bison junior offensive lineman, ready for a big 2026.
And there's my conversation with the big man, and fun to catch up with him in anticipation for the new year. All right, we're overdue for a break. We'll take it now. We come back. Bottom of the hour, our guy Cory Provus will join us from Chicago as the Twins get ready to take on the Cubs and open up the second half of the year. Hot Mic continues right after this on WDAY Extra at Inforum.com.
This is Hot Mic with Dom Izzo, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
Deep to left center field. Back it goes and gone. The 0-2 pitch. Hey, struck him out swinging at 101. Swinging a drive. Left field and deep. Back it goes and gone. And the Twins walk it off again.
All right, here it is. It's Friday, just after 9:30. Our guy Cory Provus joins us from his hometown of Chicago. The Twins open up the unofficial second half of the season tonight at Wrigley Field as they open up with the Cubs, and a massive first 7 games coming out of the All-Star break with the Cubs and the Guardians. First off, I haven't seen you in forever, so it's good to see you again. And you got to be jazzed. You're calling a Cubs game a night game at Wrigley Field tonight.
A Friday night game.
Yeah.
We were just talking off air. In my years growing up here, whether going as a fan, working for the Cubs, or even coming back with Milwaukee, I've never in my life experienced a Friday night game at Wrigley Field because there's all these stipulations with, as you well know, where the ballpark is located and the local aldermen and what they're allowed to do at night. It's really limited because of the neighborhood feel that is Wrigley Field. So that includes games and concerts and things like that. So there are some stipulations that they're allowed X amount of evening events in the calendar year. But I don't know this, for 100% certainty. But I know Khan just played back-to-back sold-out shows Tuesday and Wednesday, and I would think that the grounds crew needed some ample time, some more time to get the field ready for play. So I think they're probably played into it, but I'll get the full answer in time for the game tonight.
It's going to be amped. You mentioned to me as well that the 2016 team is being honored, the world champion 2016 team. This is going to be a raucous weekend in Chicago.
Yeah, I was listening to a Cubs podcast today just to kind of get up to date on some news and some storylines. And John Lester was part of this podcast. He was saying that a bunch of the players from that 2016 team, they're going to be sitting in the bleachers on Saturday. So these guys, they never got a chance to do that when they were playing, of course. They even come back as fans. They're going to sit in a suite or they're going to sit in the dugout. But there's going to be a group of them that's going to be, I'd imagine, just wearing out Ian Happ in the left field bleachers, I would think, for the second game tomorrow.
And what's the weather looking like tomorrow, by the way? Because that is a raucous scene in the bleachers, Matt, on a day game. Holy cow.
I think it looks good the rest of the weekend tonight, not just with the smoke and the haze and the wildfires. There's some rain coming in this afternoon, which is going to help kind of push some of this smoke out. I think we'll play tonight. Maybe a little bit delayed, but I think we'll play tonight. But the weather looks great. But I think tonight, just the air quality right now is terrible in Chicago, but it's supposed to improve as the day moves along.
After being there, and I was there, as you know, Cory, I was there a couple weeks ago. I had not been around Wrigley. Gosh, it would have been 8 years. So what has been built around it is amazing to me. That was in construction the last time I was there that's around the ballpark, which I know is completely different from when you were a kid there or even when you were working there. It's just it's a total scene now around Wrigley Field.
It's incredible engineering that they were able to pull off, because they were just going underground and almost digging and building blindly. There wasn't anything there.
Yeah.
And what they were able to build just underneath, from the luxury clubs to the Cubs clubhouse, and what they were able to do there, how they were able to build that, is just remarkable. So yeah, bravo to the engineers there, and what they were able to do over a span of probably 3, 4, 5, whatever it was, 5 years to make Wrigley what it is right now. It's just so impressive.
Actually, the last time I was at Wrigley, the Twins were there in 2018, and I know now they go every other year, but there was always a big crowd. You anticipate there would be some Twins fans making their way?
Sure. 18, was that the game? Was incredibly hot?
I was at the one the day before. I was there the day before.
That was what? That was Bobby Wilson. That was Max Kepler. That was Eddie Rosario.
Yep.
I think Williams Astudillo made his big league debut playing center field. For Paul Molitor's team. So I remember that 18, that was brutal. Yeah,
yes.
There was oppressive humidity and guys that had to literally check out.
Pass it out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but I looked around the amount of Twins fans there, and this was still in the days where you only went maybe once every 4 years, not every other year. But I'd still anticipate there's going to be a bunch of Twins fans in the stands.
Yeah, I think
tonight, right?
the timing plays into it too. I mean, if you have this series in April, you have the series in May, it's different. You have it in the middle of summer coming out of the All-Star break. I think there's going to be a great Twin contingent that are going to be here just to check this off the bucket list. And, even Twins fans that live in the Chicagoland area, to see their favorite team play. Yeah, you don't get to see this too often. Yeah, you can go see them at the White Sox, but it's a whole different experience. I mean, it's not that one is better than the other. Maybe I'm a little biased. I think one is better than the other, but whatever you want. I think this is a unique place to watch a baseball game.
This baseball team has won 5 straight series. Did the All-Star break come at a bad time considering the mojo they had going?
I don't think so, and I am a big believer in that, by the way. I think when you're going right, you don't necessarily want an off day, but I think if it means that Byron Buxton is back tonight, then fine. Then that's what they needed, and I think this is a pivotal stretch.
Yeah.
And I mentioned Paul Molitor's name, Dom, and I was thinking about this morning, that one of my favorite pieces of advice I received from Paul Molitor, and it just so happened he dropped this on me during a one-on-one when I was doing radio on the Manager's Show. But it resonated with me, and I've never forgotten this. And when I speak to schools, when I speak to kids, it's not even about sports. It's that expression that it's okay to turn the page, but don't forget what you read. And I love that, because I think that's applicable in anything you do in life. I think it's great. Parenting, whatever.
Yeah.
The Twins are in the same situation they were a year ago today. They were, 2 games under?
Right.
They were in it, and then they fell flat. And then what ended up happening at the trade deadline, to me, was a byproduct of how they started the second half. When they lost that, became the first team to lose a series at home to Colorado.
It was the Rockies.
Had not won a home series all year. And late in that, Chris Paddock got knocked around in the first inning. It was terrible. And then they lose 2 out of 3 of the Dodgers. That huge rubber game when it looked like Mookie Betts swung, didn't go, and we know what happened. The intentional walk to Ohtani and Freddie Freeman walk off. Then they come home and lay an egg to Washington and Boston, and that set up the trade deadline. So they're in that same spot a year later with 7 tough games. Okay, these are good teams. If the Cubs were an American League team, they'd be top of the second best record in the American League.
Right.
All right. Only Tampa Bay would have a better record. They're 54-42. They're the top wildcard team right now, yet they're in second place in the NL Central behind Milwaukee. Very good team. Cleveland, somehow they're doing it. Even without Jose Ramirez, good team, 4 games. The Twins so far have won 4 out of 6 head-to-head over Cleveland. They got 4 big games coming up starting in Ohio on Monday night. These 7 games are just massive. Just can't lay an egg here like they did, that first stretch out of the All-Star break, because I will say this forever, that stretch of play, that pretty much sent the Twins front office on the path they went on. if they don't want that to happen again, they can't fall flat here.
Total. Even if they split, I'm gonna go to break here. But even if they split with the Guardians, you're in it, right? You're good to go.
They can't go 1-6.
No.
1-6, 0-7, 2-5. I think is pushing it. 3-4. Okay.
I agree.
But just go home a game or two under 500. Even better if you do perform better. But that to me, this is a massive 7-game stretch.
All right, let's break. We come back much more with Cory. We'll recap the draft. The Twins made a big pick to start in the first round last weekend and look ahead, as we mentioned, to the Cubs and the Guardians. Much more with Cory Provus. We come back to wrap up Hour 1 of Hot Mic right after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Final segment of this first hour as Cory Provus joins us from Chicago. Twins and Cubs coming up tonight. Bailey Ober, Clark Ray on the mound for Chicago. Again, it's a 7 o'clock start. Don't get confused on that for the Twins and Cubs. Normally they play at 1:20, but tonight, 7 o'clock at Wrigley. We touched on a little bit. Byron Buxton obviously has been out since the Yankee series a few weeks ago. Obviously missed the All-Star game. What do we know about his status potentially coming back this weekend?
I hope. I hope that he is back tonight. And as we're chatting here this morning, I have no knowledge of that. But and I've been so wrong on this so many times when I get asked about. And I should have just learned my lesson now that I don't know. I know that he always wants to play, but it's not his call.
Yeah.
It all depends on, the Twins have a great training staff, and he's got to check every single box. They're just not going to let him play and be like, okay, you can play, but you can't run.
Yeah, right.
You can play, but you can't steal a base. You can play, but you can't go dive after a ball. They're not. That's not how he is, and so they're not going to do that. So he's got to. Does he have to be 100%? No. Who is? Even after the All-Star break, nobody's 100%. 90 some odd. We're 90. This is game number 98, right, tonight.
Yep.
So it all depends. He's got to pass enough of the boxes here. So I'm sure once he gets to the ballpark and begins that process, we'll learn.
I know the amateur draft is such a unique deal because we're not going to see some of these guys for a while. Some we might see sooner than later. But the Twins' pick of Von Lackey seemed to be well regarded by everybody that follows baseball, Cory. What do you know about this guy and the potential of when we may see him in the major leagues?
I was at an event with Sean Johnson, is the assistant GM for the Twins, and he's been in charge of the draft now for several years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And when I was with him at this event, we were having a conversation on the side after it got all done, and I'm with a couple of members of the Twins front office, and we started talking about the draft. And he said, I love Von Lackey, that it's going to be hard not to take him if he's still there. And they are thrilled that the draft played out. And I think when we first learned the lottery numbers and who was picking 1, 2, and 3, it seemed like there were 2 top choices. It was going to be Rock Chowalski, the shortstop from UCLA, and it was going to be Grady Emerson, the high school prep shortstop from the Dallas area. But then as the season played out, Von Lackey started to really emerge, and it became not just a 2-person draft, but 3 top guys. And even some, with the way the UCLA's season ended, that some had Chowalski dropping. I know Keith Law, he had Von Lackey number 1 in his draft. So I know they're thrilled, that they're absolutely thrilled that they have him. And it's a position of need because as much as you think about, what about Eduardo Tait? They got him, from the Phillies. He's 19. He's still in the lower levels of the minor leagues. And I don't know if they're sold that he's always going to be a catcher. Ryan Jeffers, his future is up in the air.
Correct.
Von Lackey's not going to be up this year. Von Lackey, but he could be in camp next year just to kind of see where he's at, and then, see what 2028. I don't know what 2028 looks like and beyond. But he seems pretty advanced, and if he stays on the path that he's on, and we'll see where he starts. Does he start? I think Tait is in Cedar Rapids right now. So does he start in Cedar Rapids? If so, what does that mean for Tait? Or do they start him at AA? I don't know. And just kind of see where he's at. And but just to get some eyes on him. But I know they're thrilled that they have this really impressive young man, full of talent, has the body almost like a shortstop, but can throw, can hit. He's athletic. He can run. So he's a massive, massive addition to this organization.
Got an email to ask you, Dom, can you ask Cory, why is it the American League is so average or below average this year compared to the National League? Is this just a 1 year off, or what do we make of what's happening this year?
I think the pitching is so elite in the National League right now. That's a big reason why. I think that when you, I think I didn't watch the All-Star game, but I followed it enough to know that, Jacob Mizrachi didn't pitch, Paul Skeens didn't pitch, Shohei Ohtani didn't pitch. Doesn't do great for the game.
No.
But when you have those three names, you had Christopher Sanchez, you had Chris Sale. I just think the elite arms in the game. And it's not knocking Cam Schlittler with the Yankees or Dylan Cease with Toronto. These are great. Joe Ryan. I mean, these are great arms. But I think that the National League pitching is fantastic. I just think it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. I think some of the power bullpen arms you're seeing are in the National League. That's Mason Miller. That's Joan Duran. I think I think there's better pitching. I think there's some better talent right now and more in the National League than the American League. Aaron Judge's injury doesn't help. With the American League, and even the A's, their lineup has been decimated by injury too. That I don't think you're seeing the same firepower in the American League that you've seen in the National League.
The 27 schedule came out. No, we're worried about the end of 26, but I was interested because I know the Mets are coming to Target Field in May on a weekend. I'm up for that. The Yankees in the middle of June, although it's a Monday through Wednesday. We've always talked about that. Did you see any other nuggets on for next year other than when they start?
I like the first series out of the break is Milwaukee.
Yeah.
In Milwaukee, I think that's really great for fans too. I think that's really nice. I think if I saw it right, they come to Target Field though in September.
Yes.
So I don't know if it lines up that well. I like the schedule in that, this year the Twins are going to spend much of the second half on the West Coast. They are going to be on the West Coast a ton here in the second half. Where next year it looks more balanced. For whatever reason, we like being in Kansas City in March for whatever reason. That seems to happen again. So we're going to open there. I don't like the fact that Tampa Bay is going to be at Target Field in April again, the home opener with the Rays. I like seeing the faces of Yandy Diaz and Junior Caminero, and they'll be in balaclavas and won't look very good. I've always wondered if there could be more transparency with how the schedule is made.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that'd be fun to see. This is behind the scenes about how it all comes together. I know there's some AI components, there's some computer, but there's also some human element to it as well. I think that'd be fascinating to learn about how a schedule is because everybody's got a beef with it. The Twins' number one request every year is to open on the road. And they seem to honor that more times than not. So I like it. I didn't see a 3-city road trip, which as a dad and a husband, I'm always happy about that. It minimizes my time away, but it looks like I always like finishing the season at home. And it looks like we have that, and then we finish the first half at home as well.
Yep. It's great to see you, bud. Have a great call. Enjoy this weekend. I know you will, and we're looking forward to watching the next 3 nights against the Cubs. Thanks so much for doing this. We'll see you next week, okay?
You're the man, Dom.
There he is. There he goes. Cory Provus joins us each and every Friday at 9:30. Twins and Cubs coming up tonight. Again, it's a 7 o'clock start. By the way, just to Cory's point of what he's talking about for the rest of this year, so the Twins will go to Seattle 2 weeks from now. Then in the middle of August, they go to San Diego and then play the Athletics in Sacramento. And then in September, they go and play the Angels and the Giants. So I don't blame them. Be sick of that. That's 3 separate trips out to the West Coast the Twins still have to make over the next 2.5 months to wrap up the baseball season. Great stuff there. Always love visiting with Cory. Let's break. We come back. We'll start our second hour. Kindred standout Myles Thielges will join us on announcing his commitment to play for Steve Lockway and the Dragons. That's coming up when we start hour 2 on this Friday, right after this.
This is Hot Mic with Dom Izzo, presented by Northwestern Mutual.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Hour 2, ready to rock and roll here on this Friday, steamrolling towards the weekend. We'll give you everything that's fun to watch coming up here before we say goodbye. We talked plenty of football over the last couple of days on the Bison side of things, but we never shy away from talking Dragon Ball because our guy Steve Lockway joins us throughout the football season. He'll do it again coming up, I would imagine, probably sometime soon before fall camp gets going. And he's recruited locally tremendously well. Got another guy out of their own backyard of Kindred, North Dakota. We know the Vikings have some upper echelon talent. Our next guest is certainly one of them. Myles Thielges joins us, who announced on, I believe, Wednesday night, his commitment to play for Lockway and the Dragons out of Kindred, North Dakota, and joins us this morning. Congratulations, bud. Give me the lowdown on why MSUM was the school for you.
Yeah, I mean, they're a program on the rise right now. They've had a few good years recently, and I think just the way their culture is and the way their coaches value their players is just it really stuck out to me. It was amazing. One of the biggest things was not only do they have a quarterback in the NFL right now, but Jack Strand, they got him to stay for 4 years.
Totally.
You know, that was, I mean, he could have definitely transferred out and gone to Division I school and probably Power 4, big school, but he decided to stay at a Division II school, so that really shows something that they're doing something right.
So I believe, tell me if I'm wrong here, the Dragons offered you a few weeks ago. Did that click in the back of your mind, say this may be the one?
Yeah. Throughout the camp season, I talked to Coach Coop, the DB coach, a lot. You know, he'd always come up to me. I think every camp I talked to him. And I always liked him. I always liked Lockway. I kind of knew from the start it would be a place that would be top of my list. And, yeah, it turns out they were.
So did you call Coach Coop or did you call Steve to announce your commitment, to tell him you were coming?
I actually called Needham.
Chris. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
What was the reaction?
He was pretty pumped. He's not really the doesn't really get too excited, So, but I could tell he was pretty excited. He said he was pretty excited and made his day, so that was pretty nice.
For you, was this something you wanted done before your senior year? Or was this something that whenever it felt right, you were going to make the call?
Yeah, I knew I wanted to make my decision either before my senior year or, somewhat, early into my senior season.
Mm-hmm.
But the time it felt right, and I just wanted to get it over with at that point.
What has been the reaction, not only for yourself, family, friends? What's been the last 36 hours been like?
They've been really supportive. I have a good group of people around me, my family, my buddies. But, yeah, they're all really supportive and got a lot of people that are happy for me.
Was it important to stay close to home, or was that just a happy byproduct of all this?
It kind of was. I wanted to stay kind of in the local area, but if it worked out where I couldn't, I'd be fine with it. But also, it's just a bonus. So
we just show a video of you all over the field for Kindred. Where are you going to be playing college ball?
Oh, they'll have me playing safety.
How do you feel about playing deep? Because we saw all the highlights playing offense for Kindred. How do you feel about going to the defensive side?
I mean, I like it. That's where, if I had to pick a position to play, I'd probably pick that one. So I'm pretty happy with that. But also, I'd be happy anywhere else, wherever they wanted me.
So I have to ask about that positional flexibility, because you play both ways, obviously, in Kindred. How does one help the other? When you play offense, how does that help you defensively and vice versa?
I think I can kind of, when I'm on offense, I can see I know how the defense is going to react or how they're going to play against us differently, and same thing with the other side of the ball. So when you're lining up as safety and you play running back, you know typically where the running back's going to go because you would do that, right? Yeah, I mean, somewhat, yeah. How much does that help you maybe give you an advantage? I know where this guy's going. It helps a lot, but we watch a lot of film. We do a lot of that too, so that helps probably a lot more than that, but yeah, it definitely helps. Well, you're not breaking any news here. Kindred has been in the news for a bit here. What has this been like to see your classmates' friends where there are major colleges coming to your school? Can you describe what that's been like for the last year? Yeah, I mean, it's nuts. Brooks and Luke are two of my best friends, so I mean, they couldn't be more happy for me. I couldn't be more happy for them, and just kind of like walking around the high school, switching classes, and you see PJ Fleck in the hallway. It's kind of interesting, and sometimes they bring me along with, so I'm not complaining about that. Can you give us a story about that when you get brought along? Oh yeah, Brooks, both of them took me and another buddy to Minnesota game day last fall. What was that like? Pretty fun. Oh, it was amazing, yeah. So you're down on the sideline. I'm sure you're looking around like, what am I doing here, right? Yeah. It was amazing. It's funny because we've had both the guys on the show, and it just becomes kind of second nature to have those kind of coaches hanging around. Is it for your other classmates who aren't athletes? Do they know what's going on? I think so, but they're also probably pretty shocked. They probably hasn't probably clicked yet.
Yeah.
Or probably just is like that. Like it's pretty rare and not something you see every day.
I'm all right. We're a few minutes in. I have to rip the Band-Aid off. Tell me about the end of last year. I know obviously it didn't go the way you wanted. How much is that still with you even now 7-8 months later?
It's still with me. I probably think about it on the daily basis, First probably 3 or 4 months, I watched the game like every day.
No kidding. Really?
Yeah, you watch. I mean, you always, your mind just keeps rolling about it. And I think, but it's helping us a lot this year. We got a good group of guys that are really determined to finish differently than we did last year. And I think it's going to help us a lot.
So when you were watching it almost every day, were you just picking at things like, man, if I would have done this or we did this, like what were you just a glutton for punishment, just going back and watching it over and over?
Yeah, it was kind of painful, but there's things that I wish I would have done differently or wish I wouldn't have done at all. And, it helps the learning process. How
is that something like going back to school Mondays? Like, how was that? I'm assuming that was really tough, I imagine.
Yeah, a lot of our teachers were really supportive and all my classmates and all of them, but yeah, it was rough.
So as the schedule makers would have it, maybe they're having a sense of humor, you open at Devil's Lake this year. Describe that's the team that you lost to, you're opening up the new year with.
Yeah, we're really excited. Not only me, but the rest of my classmates and my teammates. We couldn't be more pumped. We probably couldn't open with a better game. And it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good one for sure.
When you saw that, what was your initial reaction when you saw what the 26 football schedule was gonna be?
I don't know. I was just like, here we go. Gotta try her again.
And then right after that, you've got Horace come to town, and that game last year may have been the best game in North Dakota all year long. What about that matchup to get at your place now this year?
Yeah, that game last year was probably the most fun football game I've ever played in. It was tremendous, and then now we got them again this year on our home field. It's gonna be a good game.
Then obviously you've got the other traditional rivals, which ends with Central Cass. You've put part of that. Can you describe what the Viking Squirrel rivalry is like on the inside?
Yeah, I might be a little biased, but I'd probably say it's the biggest rivalry in the state. It's going to be a really good – it's always a really good game with them. It doesn't matter how good or what each record is for each team. But, yeah, I'm really excited for that one too, especially since it's in Central Cass this year.
Myles, growing up, was that something that just was inherent that, okay, we don't like the people from Castleton? Can you describe that of growing up and with that rivalry?
Yeah, growing up, you obviously know about the rivalry when you're in elementary or middle school. But then once you get to high school, it really hits you. And especially when you get, junior, senior year, you really start to live it and feel it.
Knowing expectation-wise, it was high last year. It might be even higher this year with your commitment. You mentioned Brooks and Luke, what they have announced. How do you guys handle that everybody in the state thinks you're going to win the title this year?
You just got to use it as fuel. We obviously have our expectations for ourselves. The coaches have expectations for ourselves. And we just, we want to live up to them and exceed them, just get past those expectations and hopefully just get a state title this year.
We were visiting off air. Is this the last little bit of relaxation time before the grind starts? We're not that far away from fall camp going.
Yeah, we have summer camp in a little bit, and then we have a week off, and then fall camp starts, and you just get rolling into it.
I know I saw a picture, I think it was Alex Starcevic posted for you guys working out on a Sunday night. You tell me about that, about the commitment of guys doing on a Sunday night of in the middle of the summer of getting ready for the year?
Yeah, we do things on Sunday nights, and it's more just captain-led stuff.
Yeah.
We run and stuff like that. But, yeah, everyone's kind of bought in. We try to get as many people there as we can that play football in the fall. And, we've been doing pretty good with it in the past couple of years.
Is that a quote-unquote mandatory? Like, hey, if you want to play, you better be here?
No, that's not. Not really. But also, it's kind of like an unwritten rule. Like, you should probably be there. If you want to. It helps. It helps a lot. In the long run.
How has that attendance-wise gone from when you even when you were a younger player to now? Has that gotten bigger throughout the years?
Yeah, I mean, well, last year we only had 5 seniors, and we lost them, but then I think we brought in 25 eighth graders or from the year before, so up incoming freshmen. So, I mean, the team just keeps getting bigger and bigger. It's kind of amazing.
So a couple last things here before I let you go. Obviously, senior year, how do you not put the weight of your world on your shoulders? Like, hey, we want to do it this year and have a great year. How do you not put too much pressure, I guess, is what I'm asking.
I mean, Coach Burgad talks to us about this a lot, about how not to focus on the result, just focus on the process. And if we just focus on the process one day at a time and take it each day one by one, and the outcome will come that what we want.
Did you get a chance to celebrate with the fam after your commitment, or is that coming?
A little. Me and my buddies went to John Party last night, so I mean,
that's a way to celebrate.
A little bit of a celebration.
Absolutely. Yeah. I appreciate you doing this, bud, on a Friday. Thanks so much for the time. Congratulations. Stay healthy and good luck this year. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
There he is, Myles Thielges from Kindred, North Dakota, newest member of the Dragon recruiting class for 2027. Again, Steve Lockway keeping close to home. You saw the highlight video there we played during our interview with Myles that specifically offensively, but certainly can help defensively. He's racked up a ton of tackles, and he'll be going to that defensive backfield. And that's the kind of player that MSUM has feasted on over the last few years. You want to know why the Dragons have gotten to the point where they are, and you heard him mention Jack Strand, and that will be felt for a while. Strand's impact will be felt there, even that he's gone, I think, for a bit. Hearing him say that just put the light bulb on. I'm like, wow, that's something for incoming recruits to see that maybe we didn't appreciate fully when he was throwing, for 500 yards and 6 touchdowns a game. I mean, we showed his highlights. We talked to Jack numerous times, but now that he's gone and off to a professional career, that's something MSUM, they better feast on that. I'm sure they will, and able to get another local player out of Kindred. We appreciate Myles giving us a few minutes. All right, let's break. We come back with a few emails in, a couple other topics we want to hit. Of course, my Pop's coming up here in about 15 minutes as well on a hazy Friday. You can see that in the sky. Back on Hot Mic right after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Our thanks to Myles Thielges for giving us a few minutes there from Kindred, North Dakota, now a member of the Dragon recruiting class for 2027. All right, a few other items wanted to get to here just to catch up on what has been going on. And frankly, if there is a week to have Mountain West Media Days, this was perfect because it's been this is the slowest week of the year, some would say, with the least amount of sporting events. The second half of the baseball season officially gets going. Well, I guess it started last night. The Mets and Phillies played last night, but the rest of the schedule gets rolling here tonight. Got a couple of emails to catch up on as well. Geez, Dom, no love for the World Cup third-place game. Yes, there is a third-place game. That's tomorrow with England and France, which ought to be interesting simply because neither team wants to be in the game. Like they play the bronze medal game in the Olympics for any of the team sports, whether it's hockey or basketball or soccer, you name it. It's like, well, some are that are really excited to be in the game because maybe they thought they had no chance of medaling. Here, in this particular event, neither one wants to play in this game. Maybe we'll get like a 5-4 game tomorrow out of that. Now, that would be highly entertaining. Another email comes in. Dom, I'm going to have time to ask Cory this about Ryan Jeffers and his future with the team. Now, that's a really interesting subject there because Jeffers is a free agent after the year. He's also maybe the Twins' best offensive player, not named Byron Buxton. And he gives them the best chance to win. And that's what Provus is talking about in our first segment this morning on why the next 7 games are so huge. If the Twins go 5-2 against Chicago and Cleveland here, then it's game on, division race on, let alone wild card race on. But if they go 1-6, if they go 2-5, then you have to start thinking that Jeffers may be moved. The deadline is August the 3rd. This is from the Star Tribune, actually this morning about it. Trading Jeffers before the August 3rd deadline risks shaking up the clubhouse and losing one of the club's longest tenured players, someone who has handled their pitching staff well. The Twins signed Victor Caratini to a 2-year, $14 million contract before the season with $10 million due next year, giving themselves some cover if Jeffers departed the organization. They just drafted Georgia Tech catcher Von Lackey with a number 3 overall pick, but it typically takes 2 to 3 years before the first catcher reaches the majors in each draft class. Theoretically, the Twins could keep Jeffers for the rest of the season and extend him a 1-year, $23 million qualifying offer to ensure draft compensation if he's signed elsewhere. We've seen them do that before. The story goes on, but a 1-year, $23 million deal would make Jeffers the richest catcher in baseball by annual salary if he agreed to it, and would have forced the Twins to spend a larger chunk of their payroll on one position. Qualifying offers will be made before MLB's collective bargaining agreement ends in December, so will not be affected by an owner's-initiated lockout. The Rays and Yankees, the best teams in the American League this season, are both reportedly looking for catching upgrades at the trade deadline, but the Twins know firsthand how much value Jeffers provides to the organization. And that's, again, the catch-22 of this all. Right? If they decide, if the start of the second half doesn't go well, that, all right, well, we're going to fold up our tents and look ahead to 2027, then you could see them moving him. They may still move him if they go 5-2. You just don't know with this baseball team. You know, after last year's shell shock of a trade deadline where 10 guys got dealt, and it was literally every other 20 minutes, it seemed like we were getting another announcement of a player moving on. You just, I don't know, not safe is not the right word, but it's just like, all right, we'll just kind of grit our teeth, see what's going on here. Open Championship is underway. That, for those that call it or don't, it's the British Open to some. There has been crazy scoring going on. Now, I was catching this morning because I wake up too early. The body clock is all off. Anyway, Lucas Herbert from Australia shot 62 today and is at 8 under par. Sam Burns also shot 62 today. He's at 5 under, 3 shots back. Jackson Suber is at 6 under. This is the one major where you have players that you likely never have heard of that either contend or win this thing. I'll introduce Paul Lawrie, 1999, when he won the Open, when John Vandevelde blew a 4-shot lead on the last hole. Cam Young for the United States is tied for second at 6 under. Everybody knows him. Alex Fitzpatrick is tied for 5th. So one thing is scoring is crazy. If you got 2 62s in a major championship in the second round, then you got something going on over at Royal Birkdale. That's where the Open is this year. I enjoy the Open simply because, again, it's a sporting event that's on in the middle of the day. Or you wake up, and I applaud NBC when they took over the Open, over a decade ago. They said, you know what, we've got the Golf Channel, and this is when they used to put the major on the golf. Well, we're going to go on right when the first ball is hit. So if you were up at 1:30 in the morning, like I was when I got home, the golf was on. And it goes all the way until everybody is done. That is unlike any other major. I don't even think the U.S. Open they do that. Maybe the PGA, but if it's on television. It's not streamed or anything like that. It is on over-the-air TV, which is pretty darn cool. Another email. Dom, what else can you tell us on the Twins' schedule for next year? Yeah, it came out yesterday for those that missed it. The season opener will be March 25th. That'll be the earliest season opener in Twins history at Kansas City, as Cory mentioned. The home opener is Friday, April the 2nd with Tampa for the second year in a row. Remember, the Rays were in this past year. It was cold on opening day. They have Tampa and Washington to open up the season. For interleague games, San Diego is in town at the end of April. It's always good for the Padres are here. The All-Star game next season is at Wrigley. That will be a difficult and expensive ticket. It'll be cool. For those that haven't had a chance to go or see it, it is fantastic. If you're a baseball rube, even if you're not even a sports fan, Wrigley's just a fun place to be. But that's what the All-Star game is next year. I mentioned the Mets are at Target Field the 21st through the 23rd of May. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going. That it does not conflict with any of our tournament schedules. I will be there. The Mets, last time they came, I think, was in September. I couldn't go. May is a little more flexible, so I'm already putting in the vacation time now to go see them play in person. Maybe they won't be horrendous by that time next year. The Yankees are in, as I mentioned, June 21st to the 23rd. That's a Monday through a Wednesday. Let's see who else. The Cubs are actually coming here next year. That's in July. It's a weekend set. That's cool. July 23rd through the 25th. So about this time next year is when the Cubs are coming to Target Field. That will be a hard ticket to get. Cubs fans always come up. And as he mentioned, the Brewers are coming in September. That's the first I can ever remember. Milwaukee series are normally May, June, and July, maybe sometimes August. But next year it's September, the 10th through the 12th. That is a Friday through a Sunday when Milwaukee is playing at Target Field. That's a little bit different. So little highlights there. Appreciate the emails we got this morning. All right, we'll break. We come back. We haven't seen him in a bit. Fresh off a trip to his favorite city, my dad will join us as we'll chat everything going on in the wild world of sports here in the middle of the summer as we get closer to football season. It's coming up when we come back after this.
If that was me and you, if you'd have went with a Boston, you'd have been living in the garage. I had a Yankee hat on, of course, which I usually almost always do, but she says to me, if I were you, I'd take that hat off. And I looked at what look at it to begin with. I ain't taking my hat off. I know where I am. Yeah, right.
You believe anything that guy says? Because I don't.
He said he was going to marry J-Lo, too, remember? I finally told your mom. I said, there's no sense. Let's just put TVs in the room because I'm only going to wake them up anyway. So
that's how I got a television?
All right, here he is. It's a Friday in the summer. We get a rare appearance from my pops. Great to see you out of the haze and the grossness of the smoke up in upstate New York. It was a swath that hit from Canada all the way to your neck of the woods. How bad was it?
Oh, yesterday was just terrible. And I never went outside at all. It was just terrible.
You told me the sun was bright orange late last night? Yeah.
The night before, it was unreal. Right? Just before it set, it was just bright orange through the smoke.
How is it today?
Great. Well, today's perfect.
Right.
Yep.
Well, that's good.
You don't smell it. Nothing in the air. It just seems real nice.
Well, that's good. It's good to see you. We haven't chatted on the show in a bit, so what's been going on? You made a trip to Michigan a couple weeks ago. You went to see some racing out there, huh?
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah. A lot of fun. Long drive, but it was fun. Had a good time.
Is that a new state off the checklist?
Yep, never been there before, so that one's gone.
So how many you got left then? You haven't got that many left, right?
Yeah, well, there's quite a few, really. But...
Oh, you haven't got that many. We took care of a bunch when we drove out here. I know that. So.
Well, yeah, if you count all that.
Yes, of course.
I didn't stop.
We stopped to get gas. That counts, right?
Yeah, bought lottery tickets. I remember that.
Speaking of which, so as you know, I was in Las Vegas, as you know, the last couple of days.
Yeah, I was jealous.
I know you were. I was trying to scout. I saw your favorite haunt. Well, I don't know. What is your favorite one to go to? We went by Caesars. We went by the Bellagio. What's your spot?
The last few times I stayed at the Wynn, but the price is going way up on them. So I don't know if I'll be going back there.
Well, do you still get sent like, hey, come back?
Oh yeah, yeah, but they don't offer you nowhere near what they used to.
Oh no, no more comp stuff.
I used to get a couple nights free, but now you don't get. You get half off or whatever, but that's because I haven't been there, though. You got to keep going.
So, but have you ever been there in July?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
I stayed at the Mirage in July, and I'd never do it again.
So I've been there now twice, and it's...
The bottom of my sneakers were melting. So that's crazy.
I don't blame them. Nobody's out during the day for good reason. No. But like after 7 o'clock, it was the running of the bulls. After that, like it was unleashed everybody. It's amazing.
Yeah, if you go out at night, it's not so bad. But daytime, you get crazy.
So I missed out the first time I went to place any bets. I was not going to do that the second time around. So in my hand here, I have a ticket I placed for you. This is a belated birthday present for you. I bet the Pittsburgh Steelers, your team. The under-over was 8.5. I took the over. So I put $100 down on your guy Aaron Rodgers to win more than 8 games this season, here, buddy boy.
Let's hope he makes it that far.
Huh?
I hope he makes it.
What are you talking
far.
about?
Yeah, without getting hurt.
You know what? I didn't even look at their schedule. I don't know if I want to do that now because come on. Well, they play in that division here, huh?
If they don't get 9 wins, then that's just crazy.
Well, with McCarthy now as the coach, so we got Atlanta. Right. You got Atlanta to start. You're going to beat the Falcons at the Patriots. Win that one. Bengals at home. They're tough. Cincinnati.
Yeah, that won't be tough. That's always a good game.
At the Browns, they traded their best player. Myles Garrett's gone. He's a Ram. You better win that one. So there's 3. Home for the Colts. Colts are good.
Yeah, they were last year.
You better be at home. You'll win that game. At Tampa. I don't know. The guy Baker, you love Baker. I don't think you're winning that one. 4-2. Home for the Saints. That game is overseas. That's in Paris.
Oh, geez.
The Steelers are good overseas. Let's give them that one. That's 5. The Browns at home, 6. At Cincy on a Sunday night. You're not winning that one. At the Eagles, you're not winning that one. Home for the Broncos. Ooh, that's on Thanksgiving. I don't know. Now we're 6-5. Home for the Texans. Yeah, I give that one. At Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And they still haven't played the Ravens yet. I don't know. I don't feel good about this bet at all now. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, they'll get it. I know they'll get 9.
Now, here's the other one I made. You're going to laugh your butt off on this. So I bet a staggering $50 that the New York Football Jets would win more than 5.5 games this year. I got a pretty good action on this here. 5.5?
Yeah.
Come on.
What do you get for $50?
About 150. I'll take that.
You go.
Oh, Eric's going to poison me and put up the Jets' schedule this year, which has...
They got to get what? 6 wins?
They got to get 6.
Yeah.
We open with the Titans. I think we're underdog already. Home for the Packers. Not going to win that.
Now remember what you say every year. I don't see a loss.
I don't see a loss on this, but now now I put money on it. Now I'm a little nervous.
Yeah. Big difference when you put a little green on it.
The fact is, I don't do it a whole lot, obviously, but I can understand how people can get certainly wrapped into it, and you have it at your fingertips. Like that would be. I can't imagine how you could get down a really dark road really quick.
Oh, for sure. You have to be very careful. You got to be a $2-3 better, otherwise you're in trouble.
Just that to me is
because you never come out on top.
Right.
You just usually don't.
So the topic when we were out there, Pops, the last couple of days, is that all the Vegas betting lines have the Bison. The Bison betting line was 9.5 wins, and so you know this, and I'll ask you. So for people out here who are the uninitiated about it, if they have that, Vegas knows something, right? They're not in the business of losing money,
right? They pretty much are right on the button. You know that. They're almost right on the button.
But the point is, they also want to have more people bet, right? So if that line is where it's at, they're thinking NDSU is going to win 10 games in their first year of this league, that's a lot of football against some way better opponents. But that's why they set the line where they did.
Are they really way better opponents, though?
I think at least
time will tell.
Well,
right?
I think
you just don't know.
The bottom ones that they used to play, like the bottom here, is so much better than the bottom of what they used to play. If that makes sense.
I'm sure. Yeah. Well, it better be. That's the only reason you're going to pay that money to move up.
Is it? Yeah. Is it way better? I guess that's the contention. We'll find out. That first game right out of the chute is going to tell us so much about what this level is, and if NDSU is any good too.
You got a well-disciplined team, so and Vegas knows that. Your record itself is just so. But we'll see. You never know.
I'll say this. The amount of people have come up to me to see that NDSU is now able to bet, or they see the betting lines for each game is because it was never, like you told me before, it was never there before until
a lot
the playoff
of times
games.
We couldn't get them. No, we couldn't get them. But now you're going to be able to. So
it's another part of this wild new world that
they must have some faith in your quarterback, or they'd have never put that kind of money down there. Has he ever played?
He's played a bit, but only like backup time, like garbage time. He is not but neither did Cole Payton prior to last year. We saw that work out. So
Yeah, but Cole was getting in a lot of plays though.
He was doing more. He was doing more running than passing. That was his experience coming in.
Where did he go?
He's an Eagle. He was drafted by the Eagles, so we'll see him.
He took the Carson Wentz route.
He did. I think, the Eagle fans had an interesting reaction to draft another North Dakota State quarterback in April when that happened. Our hot poll question, you're a world traveler. You've been all over the States. You were obviously born, raised, you live in the Eastern time zone. What is the best time zone? You've been in Eastern, you've been in Central, you've been in Mountain, and you've been in Pacific. You've been in Hawaiian. You've been to Hawaii. What is the best one?
I enjoy yours.
Central.
Yes.
Why is that?
It's daylight at 10 o'clock at night. You can't believe it.
It is this time of year. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. I will say that was.
And even in Michigan, it was the same way. It was. My buddy was with me. He's never says. I says, I'm telling you, if you go to Fargo, it's daylight at 10 o'clock, man.
Well, where you were,
crazy.
you're on the westernmost part of the Eastern time zone. So that's you're at the almost threshold of the Central time zone. That's why it was so light where you were at that time of year.
And I'll tell you, it was a lot easier going through Canada than staying in the States. I'll tell you that. Canada roads were awesome.
Oh, you had did you have traffic on your way, or the roads were bad?
Both. On the way home, we went through Canada. It was perfect. No traffic. The roads were awesome.
They let you into Canada?
Well, I had my passport, so
all right, okay.
I was just worried about getting out of there.
Well, I would say on the Central time, because this broke your brain, like the football games start at noon out here.
Right.
Right?
Well, even then, like you said, Monday Night Football's on at what, 7:15?
7:15, man.
I might have been able to see all the games then.
Well, when we were out, I was out on the West Coast for when NFL Sunday, and the game started at 10 o'clock in the morning. That was wild.
Yeah,
wow, this is really weird.
Yeah, that's a little much.
That was crazy to me, but that's...
And there, Hawaii is even crazier.
Yeah, that's 7 a.m., I believe, Hawaiian time out there. So that, again, can't even wrap your mind around that. What else you got planned the rest of the summer? You got anything cool happening here?
No, just racing back to the Yankee game that got rained out. So,
speaking of your team, what are we doing here? Judge isn't coming back anytime soon now? What?
I didn't think his injury was that bad, but him and Giancarlo's both.
Yeah.
We need them both bad. But
because
I seen the thing they got rid of Velke. Is that true?
I believe so. Yeah.
Oh God, I can sleep now. He's terrible.
You have the Dodgers coming to Yankee Stadium this weekend. That ought to be a challenge considering who you don't have right now. So
I know, you're right. That's gonna be pretty.
I don't know if Ohtani is playing either, which is a disappointment. So, but
it did make my day that they won the All-Star game. Though. The Yankees won the All-Star game.
Yes, here we go. So, yes. Did you watch?
Oh yeah.
I see.
I didn't see the home run derby, but I don't think I missed nothing.
So that was the other thing, because obviously the home run derby was on Netflix, and the ratings for it were what they were. Because I don't know how many of people have it. I think more people have Amazon than have Netflix, if that makes sense, because you have an Amazon Prime account.
Right, Amazon comes with your account, right?
Correct.
So,
if you have Amazon Prime, you can get the NFL games or NASCAR. Right. But that was an odd choice that baseball made there. I'm pairing up with Netflix on that. By the way,
I'll tell you, I got a hold of DirecTV, and I just told. I mean, it was crazy. I was up over $220.
Yeah.
I says, if you can't give me $100, I'm out of here. Yeah. And they dropped it right down to $89. But all I get is sports now.
So off of that,
I don't get the Yankees. So I've been listening on the radio.
But you don't get NASCAR either, right? Because do you get TNT?
I get all the NASCAR.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you got TNT or not. So
Yep. That's the first thing I checked.
Because the last thing before we got to go, apparently Amazon is upset that they didn't bid for more races. That people love their coverage. I know you've said it. It's awesome they're upset that they didn't bid for more because of the viewer response and how successful it's been.
Yeah, and TNT is following that same pattern, and it's just as good, man.
Okay, so
they blow facts right out of the water.
That was my next. How would you rank them then between the four that have coverage right now?
Prime is right at the top.
better than NBC.
Oh, yeah. NBC is terrible, too. They keep putting it on USA. and the minute the race is over, they're gone.
Yeah.
Boom. I'm out of here.
And that was the appeal I read in the article, is that Amazon, you mentioned, it has a long pre-race show and a post-race show that people like that. Yeah.
And that's the best part, because after the race is when you get the drivers at their fire risk. Now, that's what you want. It's fun, but I can understand they got to get off.
Right. They got the news to get to. They got other shows to get to.
The other ones, don't they?
Well, Amazon doesn't have anything. They could stay on as long as they want. That's the thing, USA,
TNT.
Well, TNT's probably got a movie, or USA's got SVU to get to. Law and Order.
Yeah,
they got to get to a rerun.
It's just crazy.
I hear you. All right, we got to go. Be healthy. Stay cool out there. I love you, and I'll talk to you later. Okay.
All right, man. Love you too. Go Steelers. Go Yankees. Let's go.
There he is, my pops, getting us ready for the weekend. There it is. I got my first 2 bets I've ever made. All right, Steelers over 8.5, the Jets over 5.5. After I saw that schedule, I don't feel great on cashing that one. We'll find out once we get rolling. We'll take our final break. We come back. We'll put a bow on things and get you ready with a great sports weekend that's on tap. Hot Mic Wraps on WDAY Extra right after this. All right, wrapping things up here for the week. We're out of here. We're back on Monday to put a bow on the World Cup. We'll see how the Twins fared at Wrigley. We'll have much more from our interviews that we conducted over the past couple days in Vegas. I believe we'll roll our Jason Eck interview that we had with the head coach in New Mexico, which was awesome. Him and Timmy Chang will have out early. Jeff Choate we got to visit with from Nevada. All the head coaches are really good. We'll have that sprinkled in over the next week or so. As countdown is on. Bison will open fall camp a week from Wednesday. So the 29th, I believe it is. So here it is on the 17th. It is officially almost here. The Vikings start soon, too. The Vikes start even earlier than that. So it has come, and it's going to be a crazy and hectic time. We love it. It's the best time of year, and excited to get it rolling here over the next little bit. Before we get to our much-anticipated poll results, which did receive some good feedback on that, let's one other email. Dom, what was your favorite coach to interview over the last couple days? It's a tie. It's a cop-out, I know. Timmy Chang and Troy Calhoun. Chang, the coach of Hawaii, and for numerous reasons, simply he was a great player, and now just the fascination, I think the unknown with Hawaii is really interesting. Troy Calhoun is the head coach of Air Force, and I sat there listening to him, and when you hear his interview, if you're not, I don't know if moved is the right word, but certainly you feel the immense pride he has for his job, the immense pressure he has at his job at the head coach of the Air Force Academy, then I didn't do my job. I think it comes through pretty well through the TV screen on that. That was really impressive. And I think for Bison fans, they're going to make the trip to Colorado Springs. They're going to love every minute of that. Just even hearing that, that might be my favorite road trip we have this year. So that'll be part of our coverage next week. All right, poll question result time. We put it out at the start of the show after traveling back from the Pacific time zone. What is the best time zone? And there's no surprise that the Central time zone won out in a boat race here. I did get a couple of responses to said question. All of North Dakota should be Mountain Time, and no, Rubes, not because of the Mountain West Conference either. That is one of the intriguing parts, obviously, of our state, is that North Dakota is part in the Central time zone and part of the Mountain time zone. There was a time there where I don't know if people understood that. Another email message comes in, Mountain time zone, or as we call it, American time. So there is some canvassing or certainly some campaigning for the Mountain time zone. We'll leave that up throughout the weekend. We'll see what if that gets any closer or if it gets a wider result by the time we come back. Let's do some what to watch before we get out of here. All right, let's start first with today. Open Championship continues through the rest of the afternoon. That's on the USA Network. Already 262s are in the books going on at Royal Birkdale. As I mentioned, the Twins play a night game at Wrigley Field, one of the first they ever have at Wrigley. 7 o'clock tonight as they open up the second part of the season. Bailey Oberle starting for Minnesota tonight on Twins TV. And the Wolves are wrapping up Summer League in Vegas. I believe this is their next to last game. Vegas Summer League wraps up over the weekend. They got the Clippers coming up tonight, 10 o'clock on ESPN. If you need your basketball fix for some Beranger out there, Rocco Zakarski, any of those new guys, you can take a look at that. This weekend, mentioned the World Cup Finals. It's Sunday at 2 on Fox. The Open Championship final round is at 6 a.m. on NBC on Sunday. And Dodgers-Yankees, a nice way to wrap up the weekend, 6 o'clock on NBC. Our thanks to Griffin Empey, to Cory Provus, to Myles Thielges, and, of course, to my dad. If you missed any of the show, you can podcast it later today at Inforum.com. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you back on Monday.